All right, guys, welcome to the Monday stream. Of course, not starting necessarily the way that we would like it, not only from a market point of view, but obviously from a geopolitical point of view. Some pretty sad stuff happening over the weekend. Obviously, we won't be discussing that during the stream, but remember, uncertainty does bring volatility, and that has sprung in. We've got a 0.3% kind of across the board here in the markets early. And we've also got the volatility index spiking up. So anyone that was getting into that VIX last week on the 15.5, whew, it's not too bad, eh? I don't mind 11.58% up in the morning in terms of from a perspective of getting into that VIX. Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody is having a great day. Obviously, the markets will be very interesting on the daily close. We'll be going through the Nasdaq. We'll be going through cryptocurrencies. We'll be going through, obviously, our stock market thoughts for the week ahead. And I hope everyone's doing really well. So without further ado, let's switch across to it. Let's get into some of the analysis. We start off here with some down stocks. We've got Tesla down 1.7% down to a 705 here in the pre-market. On the green side, on the big caps, we have Coinbase and a few others. Let's actually just quickly scroll that across there so we get less stock hits. There we go. So we've got Coinbase up because crypto's done well over the weekend. That's been continuing to be okay off that 250 level, which we've discussed. And then, of course, the rest of this is just very lackluster amount of greens, mostly reds here in the morning early. But we do know that sometimes it can be fake market futures. In this case, do I feel like it's a fake market future? If I was to guess, I would probably think no. There is reason for these markets to be turning around here. Is it enough reason to actually get underneath the all-important levels, though? We'll find out soon. So let's just quickly scroll across here. We'll go to the Nasdaq to get started, and we'll talk about what we're seeing here on the Nasdaq. So let's think about theoreticals. Everything is chess, as we know, when it comes to trading, when it comes to investing. We have to be two steps before everybody else sees something, and we always want to be hopefully on the right side of the position. So we've got here a peak at the moment on the Nasdaq. Then we've got obviously a trough that's formed. Could this be a lower peak? We know now that if we get underneath this 20 moving average with the daily close, it's going to be incredibly significant. What type of daily close are you needing? You probably need the QQQ or the NDX to actually get underneath this 20 moving average. This is the all important level that most eyes will be on from Wall Street. If you have a peak, you have a trough, you have a lower peak, and you have a lower trough. We know that's a sequence. We love that sequence here. We call it the lightning bolt, and it often leads to some pretty nice, when it's correctly placed in the correct level, it can lead to some pretty nice gains. Let's quickly scroll through some of these questions coming in here. Kunal says red means green by the end of the day. Every Monday it has. Today might be the one that bucks the trend. But yes, absolutely. Every Monday, fake market futures has come in red almost consistently now, and it has generally gone the other way. Eduardo Lopez, is there any relation between the PCC and the VIX? Well, basically, put call ratio, you would expect if the volatility market is spiking, more people will open puts, and that will therefore spike the PCC. PCC cannot be usually looked at throughout the day. It'll give a false reading. So it's more about the close there. Shizzy Wiznut, very, very observant there in the eyes. And SW says, Tom, is your moniker as a wheat trader? Oh, no, I'm not a good wheat trader, guys. Wheat trading is pumpy and then dumpy, and hope you don't get hurt by, of course, the nastiness of the weather. So, yeah, quite a few decent moves here. What's this? Path says, morning missed out on Upstart last Friday. Good education. Let's have a look here. Let's see what happened on Upstart. So daily. You mean that it moved like this? Can't remember. He's not happy about it. What did you not do? I can't even remember. I know you were in this stock. I know it had earnings. It bounced up. And this is still an area I would have scaled out of. Yeah, I still hold to that. And nothing really changes. Look, if you're going to hold something past a resistance line, you've always got to think about, well, what was the fundamental event? Do I know anything about this company? Absolutely not. So from a technical level, you're hitting a resistance. You know, between this 160, 180 level, you're going to be hitting a resistance. When it breaches through, well, it's on the rip roller. But yeah, I think scaling is always a good key when you're thinking about these types of rallies, because remember, it's a gap with some extreme movements here, extreme volume, likes to pump and then dump afterwards. So remember, likes to pump, dump afterwards. Don't get in love with a stock like this. It's most likely going to have a pump and then it's going to have a dump. All right, let's continue going through some stuff. We've got a question coming in here from the Chosen Low Bob, CHF, $2. What are your thoughts on EOS and bullish global? Let's have a look at EOS. Isn't EOS, wasn't that like that's the crypto I assume you're talking about here? This crypto hasn't really, it came good for a little while over here. I remember it back in 17. It was it had a pretty good run on it in 17, if I remember rightly. This chart obviously won't show it. It's kind of like one of the OG coins, isn't it? I mean, nice double bottoms, obviously moving way ahead of that now. Resistances here, I think we had it about 660, and then we've got the 855 area as the next level. Yeah, look, it's rallying just like all the other coins. As long as Bitcoin and Ethereum hold up, all the other coins are starting to now make their moves to catch up with them. We obviously saw ADA get up to that level, catch up. We've got XRP that's been running, hitting that $1.30. Nice catch up there. We've still got some that are behind. You've got things like Link that's pretty far behind. That's now started to move. We talked about that on the Friday session. That's up now since then, about 12.41%. And it's continued, and it's going to move probably towards that 32 level. I think with crypto, it's pretty easy discussion, really. If as long as you believe Bitcoin's going to hold and Ethereum's going to hold in this pattern, then the rest of these coins should be able to rally to the next resistances. They're all playing the catch-up game now in terms of the big alts and some of the smaller alts. Kind of like top 100 coins. That's where you'd be looking. Top 100 coins. And bullish global. I'm not sure what bullish global is. Am I bullish globally, or is that some coin? I don't know what bullish global is, man, unfortunately, but thank you for the donation. Yes, I think EOS can continue to move. So let's look around these markets. We've got US 500 coming in 0.3%. US 100 is the one I'm watching this week. Daily 20 is the big key zone there for that. Remember, seasonal weakness could be upon us for the Nasdaq. There's a lot of good charts that show that seasonal weakness. US 30 also moving down. If you're a bit of a bull here on the market today, let's say we did see some serious sell-off on the Dow and it came back down to this previous resistance level. 20 moving average on the daily might be meeting it, and you've got a good little level there for optimistic bulls to potentially go for the long side. So 20 moving average, previous resistance becoming support. Not too bad. Not too bad. Jason Borg says EOS needs to make some waves. It's not even on the radar right now. Absolutely. Kevin Kim says, hey, was hoping you could take a look at XRP. Nice pennant forming. Must be on a small time frame there. Let's have a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, I think that's fair. So basically a pennant, for anyone that doesn't know, the idea is you're basically creating a symmetrical triangle after a large move. And the essence of a pennant is you take the length, which is kind of like a flag. So you usually take I like to take it from the breakout. So from the breakout here, and then you extrapolate that out if it does break the top of the triangle, and then that should hit your next resistance or like support level, depending on whether it's bullish or bearish. So in this case, it kind of prices in pretty closely to those previous peaks around that $1.64 area. It hits $1.60. So that would be your target with that kind of move. I think it's fair. I mean, another way of looking at it is you've got a long leg doji here. If you did start the pennant, you would be closing hopefully bullish against that doji. Decision made, further rally on. So yep, absolutely fair there. Absolutely fair. Stephen Eldridge says daily PLTR shout out. Good morning, Tom and chat. Yeah, great to have you guys here. Mate, remember, if you haven't already, think about hitting or smashing that like button if you do enjoy the stream. It really helps us out, gets us noticed. I'm going to start pushing a little bit more if you guys can do it. Does really help us out on the platform. There's a lot of competition I see out there nowadays. Look, PLTR Could you create a bigger long leg doji? Breakout past the resistance 23.48. Really nice pickings, actually. What a great pickup this was. I didn't see it because I haven't been trading PLTR, but what a very, very nice grab here on that day. Big movement both ways. Pretty solid earnings from what I can see. And yeah, let's hope this thing can move back to that 27 kind of 50 zone and then onwards and upwards. We all know 27.50 is the horror zone here for PLTR. Should be some buyers still at 23.50 if it comes down to that level. Shizzy Wiznut, $2. Used what I learned here. Bought Solana low. Have a look at Solana. Is that, what is that? Is that the crypto? The crypto, is this Solana? I don't know if this is the one. Well, that's moving really nice. Very good. Good recovery. I can see why you may have bought that. Got a really nice trend line that moved through, closure above, get above that resistance as well, move to the next one. 2 rejections. Oh, beautiful close. Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Shh. Don't tell anyone about those setups, guys. Don't want everyone to know about them, hey? Shizzy Wiznut says now doing scaling out. Yeah, it's a very, very, very good setup. I see what you did. Weekly, yeah, I think fair to scale here. I mean, you've obviously got a new high, so you can afford to let this thing run a little bit. Because it's been sold for so long and it's got that real ramp on it, what I would do is probably go for like a market capitalization size and go for key psychological zones. So it's worth always scaling, but there could be some good targets here. 80, even 100 is theoretically possible depending on the market cap. Absolutely. All right, let's keep going through the markets. We've got US 500, as we said, all of them are down, slightly making returns here early in the session in terms of the pre-market. We've got 45 minutes till the market opens. We've got the US 10-year. Now, US 10-year was weak through the Asian trade session. You'll notice it closed underneath what could have been a pretty nice double bottom trade. I mean, for most double bottom traders, it's not over yet. I don't tend to like this very much at all. I explained why I didn't like it because of the 50 exponential in the video I put out in the weekend. Yeah, I think with this, it can go either way. I like to watch the 10-year. At this stage, though, I don't have clear direction. I think there's more clear direction that people were moving into bonds on the Friday session. You can see this big bullish close here. So bonds should hopefully move now. This is the 20-year bond into this trend line. If it does bounce through that trend line, again, that could be a good signal here for risk off in the markets. The stronger the 20-year gets, the more likely it is that the market will roll over a little bit as more funds are escaping the general growth stocks, going into the conservative stocks, which we talked about, consumer staples, utilities, etc., getting rotated into right now, and they go to the next level. So yeah, that will be also weak. We got dollar index, slight bullishness off the 20 today. Nothing really to see there, I feel. And US oil, surprisingly, actually coming down. So if US oil comes back down to this level, I wouldn't blatantly buy that level anymore. We've had a rally off the zone. So you can see here, 1 rally, 2 rallies. It's come up, found resistance, and then started to sell off. So it's not like it went boom, 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 like a lightning bolt. It's basically so far gone boom, and then will it go boom back down into here? Closure underneath this level be a good point to watch for this week. That's that 65 kind of 20 zone. Very key zone. If it gets through, oil could really take a hammering back into $60. So just be careful of that one for oil traders. Certainly something I'll be looking at. Saga Gathawk says, like the new video setup. Thank you very much. Yeah, so we can do a whole bunch of different switches here if we want to zoom in and always have the ability to do it. Plus, I can give you guys a bit of a shout out here as well. JC Red says, short sleeves. It's not cold anymore. It's cold, but, we're locked in. When you're locked in, we're coming through the winter. The worst of winter is gone now for for Melbourneites. And we're just stuck completely. Blaze Nape says, best pre-market show. Appreciate the support, man. And yeah, I do like that. Thank you very much. And Finkin79 says, Tesla news is just FUD. Full self-driving isn't actual full self-driving yet. So it's just idiot drivers driving into emergency vehicles. Yeah, I think, look, with the Tesla news, I'm not really going to eat into, like, take any way here in terms of the way that the full trial self-driving or any of this stuff is a big problem. I think I'll let the technicals do the talking with Tesla. Price wise, I mean, Tesla could have been priced actually relatively, in some ways, by some using some techniques. You could have actually said it was relatively cheap before the whole pandemic. Cheap, inverted commas, before the whole pandemic. It's certainly going to benefit in the next couple of years from a huge uptick in electric cars. I can tell you, even what I'm seeing here in Australia, people are buying them and they're buying them hardcore. Now, can they keep up with demands? Who knows? We'll see whether they can scale it out. I'm not really here to debate that, though. I'm here just to look at this range. All we care about is 727 closure above or 697 closure below. And if we get either of those, then it's on. In between here, less interested. So if you have like a bullish bias, let's say you think, okay, I think this is bullish, and you see it go through this zone, then you should really be paying attention, because that's when you're going to see that huge participation zone up to hopefully that 770, 780 area. Think you can remove the live stream logo? It's all right. I like it. It's just black anyway, just there, man. So it doesn't really matter. Chinese stocks fail coverage is just normal. I'm not really too sure what that means. Then we got Tap. So did you say Melbourne, Australia? Yeah, I said Melbourne. That's right. That's where I live anyway. That is where I live. Okay, let's keep going through these stocks. So we've got Tesla trapped in the zone. Nothing new there. It's exactly where we've always had it. We've got, of course, gold moving through. Now, if you got hold of that dollar index trade, I just want to show you guys how good this dollar index trade really was. I thought it was an exceptional trade. Really easy to take. You got the peak, you got the trough, you got the lower peak. You obviously have that closure through. Really solid trade. A lot of free space there coming off the peak resistance. That was exceptional. Now, if you wanted to trade that, you didn't necessarily just have to trade dollar index. You could have traded the euro, US dollar. You could have traded something else. Like you could have traded gold, obviously, towards the bull side. We talked about that daily long leg doji here. Obviously, we had resistance. And it went as it was going through here. The only reason it could plow through this point is because the dollar index was weakening by so much. And when that happened, it sent massive movements through gold. Now, gold and silver could be something that takes some, I guess, gain or benefit from this whole geopolitical situation right now. If we're looking at the daily movements of silver, it's been incredibly slow in comparison to gold. So this week, it may pay to actually trap silver up, because silver is super behind gold in terms of the movement. You'll notice here we've got the trough, we've got the peak, we've got the higher trough currently coming through. You do have a little bit of a bullish engulfing candle that's coming through here as well. We're looking for a breakout, and then that breakout to lead to something like a 2460 zone. So silver could be something interesting if you want to, I guess, get into that type of thing. There is some signs of life coming back into the stock, or back into the metal at this stage. 8-hour 20, that would be. Yeah, and then that would be the daily 20. I like that, actually. I don't mind that. Not bad. Not too bad at all. Alex O says rapid charting soon. We'll do rapid charting when we get close to the open. Absolutely. Will the Afghan news have any effect? I mean, it's having an effect on the fake market futures, sure, but whether it has a massive effect, it's whether Wall Street want to use it. Look, there used to be so many big bits of this kind of news coming out. Obviously, there's all different situations. Sometimes it really affects the market. Sometimes it doesn't. So at this stage, I'd be just waiting for the price action. If they choose to use it as an excuse, then it can really play out here. Long term, do I think it has, or medium term, do I think it has a real impact on the markets? No, I don't. Yeah, that's just my kind of thoughts there. Dav G, $5 Australian, says Keynes for views on TNE Tech, one on the ASX. We'll check that out in a second, sir. Thank you very much. So we've got the volatility index spiking hard here, 17.16. We know that the bears don't really get any control of anything until 20. I would expect the VIX to be at 20 plus if we were actually closing under the daily 20 exponential moving average on the Nasdaq. That's just the way it goes. Usually, when a market cracks through a really key support level, it will be doing so with that 20 moving average and with the volatility index. We'll scroll through some of the stocks we've had a look at last week. Obviously, everyone always talking about AMC GME situation. There is some case to be had here that we're forming a little bit of a base formation. I mean, if you have a look on, let's say, the 2-hour time frame, if you're a bull in AMC, you're looking for this thing to really get back above the 36 range, put in that base, get some volume coming through. Obviously, social arb is key in these situations. And through that point is what you're looking for. GME, actually strange. I don't really know what's going on with this. Seems to have kind of got lackluster. It's back at the point of support, becomes resistance, struggling around there. So not just yet for that one. And DKNG had a nice closeout last week, but it does have an offer on it. So that means that they're basically buying another company. In my experience, very rarely does a company go up when they're purchasing another company. I know Square has recently. It's very unusual. It doesn't usually go that way. It usually sits for a while as they complete the acquisition, because usually they do it with shares and stuff, and it dilutes the company. It has to be very, very bullish for them to do that. Let's check out DavG's comments here. He wants us to have a look at TNE. Technology 1 on the ASX. Really nice, actually very solid little trade pattern here, isn't it? Very boring for a tech stock, but nice little top range. I'm just thinking where I would draw the top range from, whether I'd go through these as a more conservative kind of take profit or not. I mean, your ultimate aim here is just underneath 10, but the way that this is doing so, what I would be looking for is actually a closure above this range. And the reason why you're looking for that closure is because it's never closed above. Notice it's gapped above and then sold off, but never closed above. So if you got a closure above this, I think that actually would be a sign that this thing's going to try to break its previous resistance. It's worth $3 billion. If we go to the weekly, there's a lot of cases to be said that if this comes back up, because it's been here once before, twice before, that it's actually looking for a nice closure out. So watch the weekly here, and more importantly, watch that daily for it to breach the ascending channel here. I would love to see that thing out and above, and then it can fly. Now, where has it generally flown to? So it stopped around 9, stopped at 10, stopped at 8 the first time, kind of, and then sold off barely. So look, every dollar is going to make some. I always like looking at the first time it hits levels. So when it hits $8, did it sell off? Okay, you know that round number's good. When it hits $9, did it sell off? I would say arguably yes, that was the end of it over here. And then $10, it stopped as well. So your target would be something like 11. But nice channel on the way up. Thank you very much, DabG. Appreciate it. And then we've got the upper decks. The show's back, by the way. Don't know about episode 1. $2, HUT, BITF. What is this? HUT? That on like the, what? I don't know what this is. I'm assuming, honestly, I have no idea what it is, man. I hope it's this. Maybe if you send it to Dave, you've got like to let me know what it is. If it's this, yes, did break out. It's at the previous support becomes resistance area. Big amounts of action coming in through the earnings, into the earnings. There was a lot of rally volume. You can see the volume was really big. It's got 3.66% here in the pre-market. Your best case, kind of $8 and then 10. I'd just keep following the trend. I'd find the moving average that I like, the one that's falling off. You can see here the 2-hour is really, really good. So if this is the stock, you do not want this thing under that 2-hour. If it does fall under, it will weaken off. because that will be a peak, a trough, a lower peak, and then a lower trough. No good. So you really need that to make a new high, and it looks like it's trying to do that today for you. So hopefully that plays out, and thank you very much. It's a Bitcoin miner. Okay. So if it's a Bitcoin miner, then yeah, I mean, you just need, well, I don't know if you need Bitcoin to go up. It'd be good, but you definitely need Bitcoin to stabilize. So that'll be a big one. What's going on with NEO? Let's take a look at NEO. So we've got this request coming in from Brian Grant. Sometimes I do these. Down 4.44%. Ooh, nasty. 39.21. Quite a few days of nasty, nasty trade on this. Can't say what the news is because I haven't looked. Let's get rid of that. There we are. Yeah, technically it has to hold this zone. As you know, if it gets underneath this zone, NEO buyers might be getting a much cheaper price soon. So if it doesn't hold this zone, it closes through. I actually could see a 34.64. But this could be across a lot of yeah, it's across all of them. All of the Chinese stocks are getting belted. Geopolitical concerns, people just dumping out of those markets, trying to get rid of that risk. Obviously something in the China market. Look, I'm not buying any of these things right now. As I said, there was one go at it, which was over here from a trade perspective. That no good. And if it doesn't want to act technically, when you've got a nice little double bottom, a breakout past support, everything, then yeah, you put in one trade and you don't go against it. Remember, you're looking for a repairing market. This is not a repairing market right now. And I've stated that several times. I don't like anything about it. I didn't like the dead cat bounce. I don't like it where it is right now. And I will only like this stock if it does this type of thing, or any of these stocks. They need to show recovery. Guys, I got to tell you. Let me just switch here. Okay. I'm going to tell you a real truth. All right. Don't buy the dip in every single stock. All right. Okay. I know that seems hard. And you can buy the dip if you're going to hold the damn thing for 10 years or 5 years and you believe in it fundamentally. But don't just go buying the dip and thinking you're trading. That's very different from investing. All right. Now that I've said that, I should know. I've made these mistakes before. Don't believe me. I've made them. And if you make these mistakes, then it's a big thing. All right. So Hian C says someone has died in a NEO car. Is this running some kind of what? Is it a battery exploded or something? What happened? I don't know what happened. Tell me. Tell me. All right, we'll go to Roberto's. Oh, wait, just make sure I've caught up here. Thank you very much, Roberto Galindo, $2. LAC, future lithium mine. Think dump started. LAC, let's have a look. 2% down, big rally, couple of really big days of trading. Couldn't sustain it. $20 seems like the right level for a first kind of scale out. Yeah, I mean, the dump could have certainly started. I like that closure trade. That was nice. Long leg doji, decision made, went to the $20. Maybe we did this one for you before. Let's have a look at the weekly. I don't think it isn't showing like really horrible signs of weakness. I mean, this is bad. $20 and a big sell off like that's not ideal. Like a good, healthy, strong stock will kind of dip and then fully recover. So if you ever see like a dip and then it recovers hard and then a dip and then it recovers hard, know that you have the power of nasty Wall Street behind you. But if it dips and there's no recovery in the next day or two trades of trade, generally they're not there. They have to, like, if that you want them to be like, slathering. They're like getting it ready. They're getting their algos. They're sending him out. They're telling Peter in the office, Peter, is your algo ready yet? And he's like, no, it's not ready. Just put it on, man. It's meant to be a momentum-based trader. Just put it on. And then he clicks the button that says 1 billion trade instead of 1 million trade. That's the one you want. You need Peter and his robot in there. And right now he's not there, unfortunately, for LAC. It needs to rally probably today or tomorrow. Otherwise, you may be in some pain at that point. Absolutely. Thank you for the donation. Snow looking good, says Glenn. Yeah, Snow's been a pretty big favorite of the channel, and I don't blame you guys. It's down today, but it's still looking really solid. This is the only IPO that seems to be doing all right. So supposedly a Chinese driver died in a car crash involving a Neo car activated with navigation on pilot. Do we know enough information about that, though? I mean, it could be a whole bunch of different things. Look, it could put them behind, but realistically, I think the Chinese government would want Neo. I mean, it's obviously horrible it happened, firstly, but from an investment standpoint, the Chinese government kind of want Neo to be successful, don't they? You've got to think about what is in the best interests of the government. That is really your trade in China. What is the best interest of the government? And if it's in their best interest to make it all happen, and they feel like they're in a race with the rest of the world, with all these other companies, then you've got your solution, yeah? Doesn't seem to... Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's enough information there on that particular story. So we're just under half an hour away from the market open. We can see there's been some recovery, then a little bit of drop off again through the stocks. We know the Chinese stocks are coming in pretty damn brutal this morning. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it's still a great time to buy from a technical standpoint. It just looks nasty, but it's obviously up to you guys what you do. I can't tell you what to do there. And Snow does still look relatively strong. I mean, this is going against many rules here. This is a September. It's only just about been on the market for a year, but it is coming good. And you'll notice, just like every other technology IPO in the world of the American market, it went good for a little bit, then went terrible, and then came good near the end. That's what usually does happen. And it happens time and time and time again. Now, I was actually having a look at the Apple calls. Did you guys see the call ratios on Apple? Very high, may I say. Like, have a look over here. Let me just put AAPL on. Oh, actually, I don't have my bar chart up. But basically, if you go over to barchart.com and then you type in Apple, what you'll notice is that Apple has like a 0.2 call put ratio. So, but basically put to call ratio. So we have only like 1 in 5 positions on Apple right now expiring in the next 2 weeks is a put. There are so many bulls on Apple, and that always makes me think that ain't going to happen. When you look at the chart, is there any reason to be super bullish just yet? I mean, you're still holding the 20 moving average. I'll admit that. That's definitely going to be the first sign again of weakness here if it does occur. But we aren't quite out of the woods yet. You need to be above that 150, the magical 150, to allow the elephant to move, to roar, to destroy, to the next move. That's the one. B member says, hello, Tom. Roku still dropping from 490 highs. How low will it go? Well, you've got 2 really key levels on Roku. So this is another one that I went through in the private community today. I guess I'll share my thoughts on it quickly here. Roku, you cannot purchase yet unless you have a long-term plan. Why? It's falling. Is it hitting? It's like dropping off a cliff. Is it hitting a key level? Absolutely. You've got the daily 200 moving average. You've got previous resistance, very key zone. And then if it gets through this zone and say breaks below, the next level that's logical is 324. You may not want to hear that, but it is the next logical level. Then after that, I don't really think you want it down any further. I mean, you'd be talking about 282, and after that, very bad things. So these would be the next key levels here. If you were thinking about this level, I would be preferring some kind of lightning bolt, double bottom, that kind of technical setup. That's the one you're wanting to find generally. Yeah, you generally want to find those ones. All right. I think we've caught up with the super chats there. Thank you very much, guys, for the donators. Also, thank you for the thumbs up. I don't know how many we're at, but appreciate you guys. Let me quickly check here. 275. Let's see if we can make that over 300, guys. Come on, it's Monday. You got to give me some Monday cheer here on the channel. And also, welcome to the 1,235 concurrent viewers. Appreciate you guys joining us here for what is going to be a very interesting session. Today's close really could dictate the rest of the week. And that's going to be one of the big things here. Kevin N says, I like when Tom does the zoom in on himself when he has a rant. The quick fire stocks and the rant segment are the best. Yeah, well, sometimes I have a rant when I feel very opinionated about something. I don't know if you guys come here for my opinions. I'm not sure. I think we just come here to hang out. Yeah. But at this stage, it's hard to have much of an opinion on the market. I'm so neutral. I wish I could be like, damn it, it's time. We're going to destroy the bulls. Or, damn it, it's time. Buy every hyper stock under the sun. Not that I can tell you to do that. But, it's not. It's the time where you have to sit back and you have to relax. And if you're in the crypto world, you're feeling bullish. If you're in the commodities world, depending on the commodity you're looking at, you can feel bullish and bearish. And if you're in the Amazon world, consumer discretionary for the first time in a long time is starting to show weakness. Look at this. Trend line, buy the dip not working right now on Amazon. Will it long-term work out in Amazon? Probably. But right now, not the best. Not the best. We've got a few people say here for the rants. Got Fancy Ashley says thumbs up for Tom, please. Thank you very much. Can we get a pump at 300 likes? Yeah, I need to install the fast pump action. We can do that at some point. KZ No Limit says, aren't you cold in Melbourne without short sleeve? No, I'm feeling fired up today. I'm feeling fired up. Now, if Amazon gets underneath this little supporty line here, remember the next level for this thing is like literally downtown. It's like 3,100. It's not going to be very good. So we've got quite a lot of weakness that can come through here for Amazon. Let's go through some other stocks. I guess it's time. Let's do rapid fire. I still haven't prepped that. By the way, if you have graphic editing skills and you can create me a 7-second Top Gun rapid fire intro, obviously for free, if you can do that and you want your work to be here, it needs to be good. I want Top Gun. I want rapid fire. I want acquired lock, We need the Top Gun music. You can go search it on YouTube. I would love that very much. It'd be hilarious. All right, let's go through the rest of these things. Let's do the rapid fire. So we'll start off with some stocks. By the way, I'll take 3 rapid fire things in the chat. So you guys you don't even have to super chat. Just spam in the chat the stocks that you want, and we will rapid fire those at the end of this session. So Square, let's begin here. Let's talk about the Square action. So I think the best thing to do with Square is just to look at the weekly. I don't like the weekly, guys. Okay, weekly, too much rejection, no likey. Do not want to see momentum filled through there, but I do have plans to pick Square up a little bit later. 240 would be next target, and then every $20 underneath that. So 240, 220, 200. We'll go over to Apple, trippity trapped. This thing is literally trapped between two zones. Huge amount of calls, 149, 150. That's going to really limit Apple's potential this week unless they let it through to the keeper. Amazon still weak underneath trend line. You guys can see it. Google, boring. Boring alert, guys. I'm sorry. If you're in Google long-term investment, beautiful 20s on the daily have been great. Other than that, hideous. It's just too slow. Snowflake continues to the 297. It is down this morning, which is to be expected. 320 target after that. Still looking strong. Enphase, very disappointing closure here, guys. It didn't rally off the long leg doji. It's gone underneath. I actually don't like it from a technical perspective. There were a few things that we would hope for with Enphase. You'd hope little double bottom, bullish close above this, movement through. It would have been sweet. If that had closed bullish, oh yeah, so good. But at this stage, weakness ensuing on Enphase, unfortunately. In the short term, Microsoft closed above. I guess this is one of the strongest stocks in the market right now. Could be moving towards 300. Check the options on that. ARK K and ARK G are pointless to do TA on. But if you were to do it on ARK K, you'd be looking at the trend line here and hoping it doesn't go underneath. Check the 4-hour chart for the trend line. You can see here weakness. Again, another sign of weakness in the market across the board because that's a lot of hyper stocks. ARK G looking weak. Beam looking weak at this point. Love the stock. It is looking weak. Too many tests down here. I don't trust it. I would not buy that level from a technical perspective anyway. Edit continued to go well after really good earnings here. It's rolling over. I feel like it's got some movement down in it, unfortunately, here across all the CRISPR style stocks. CRISPR remains nasty looking. SPLK, I don't mind it. I mean, it's boring, but that's a good weekly close. I know it's on the 50 exponential, which is certainly, a point where it's found weakness before, but god damn, that's an inverse head and shoulders, guys. I mean, come on now. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, moving averages. Looks pretty good. I wonder for proofs. Let me just quick fire this proofing. I want to check that out. Oh, it's pretty nice. SPLK. At least you know it's a good stock. CRM, also another one. These two behemoths certainly looking much better than the rest. Really terrible daily moves. Little long leg doji here, looking for a closure above. I think to signify a series of higher lows and potentially a breakout. Could be good. Disney found good first movement here. Had the earnings, came open 4%, weakened straight in. It is back around where you would hope buyers to come back in here for Disney. So it's currently down 0.38 in the morning. This is the area that you're looking for lightning bolt. So you're looking for that movement right there. Trend line, it's come back into the top of the trend line. It's always good little area. You need a closure above this sign. That sucked, but this is the area to be looking at. PACB, trend line purely. I don't really like it, but if it lightning bolted, okay. QCOM remains good. Nothing wrong with QCOM, just boring, but it's doing its little thing. It's got nice candles on it. TDOC, nothing going on. 156. Barber. Get the knives in the chat, guys. We need knives everywhere in the chat for this one. Wowzers. That's knives. Knives for Baidu. Underneath here, unfortunately, very bad. There could be some deep value in these stocks later on, though. And then we've got JD, also looking a bit nasty. Got Snap turning around after the earnings. I'm actually looking for this to fill the gap down to 69. So with Snap, weakness is coming through. Look at the weekly here for Snap. Not really what you want to see from, a good stock. False breakout, very nasty. Twilio, or whatever the hell you call it. Weekly just closed above 362. Pretty important. I'm in two minds. I mean, I feel like it's at that point where it's going to slip back over and go down. Next level 340 for it. Remember, it did close underneath. It fully rallied, but it did close underneath. Yeah, that's fine. NVIDIA has a good month traditionally at this point. Earnings coming up. So this is an earnings play. Long leg doji, bullish. Oh, this could buck the trend, but you're betting big on earnings. Technically, it looks good. If there wasn't earnings, I'd be like, hell yeah. And if I didn't know what the valuation was, I'd be like, hell yeah. Pins still at the low, nothing going on. Got it trapped between those two zones. TAN rolling over at this point. You do have the longer term trend line here. This is the solar ETF. Looking for it to rally right here, right now. Roku, we talked about that before. Daily 200. And KO actually looking pretty good. That's the Coca-Colas. Then we got CAT coming back down. I want that lower, 214 on CAT. Spot, nothing good yet. Need rally. GPS, no bullish close above that long leg doji. All right, you're gone. GPS, FCX, still really great setup from Eka here. Still an inverse head and shoulders. Just need a closure above. Unfortunately, it is not going to occur today, it looks like. Unity continues to rally. I'd be looking this now turnaround, come back down 113. If you like Unity, would be a cool level. NVAX, we're looking at high. NVAX looks really strong on the chart, guys. It's going to open down today, but NVAX is looking strong on the chart. It all comes down to how the government wants to deal with it. And then we've got Path. Nothing there at this stage. SCCO looks pretty good on a chart. Roblox, really nice area, but earnings again. Earnings will either kick ass from technical perspective, if this wasn't earnings, I like Roblox chart. That's a good one. I would look at that and I'd be like, oh yeah. But right now, maybe not. We'll take them from the chart. We'll take them from people's opinions now. PYPL. Okay. What we'll do tomorrow as well is we'll open up a very cool, I guess we'll open up the popular opinions choice. So that is going to be stocks that you guys are looking at that you want me to look at here in the watch list. So we'll check that out. Let's have a look at PayPal. Actually looks really weak. Strength comes through after this level, so about 285. Close above those two moving averages would be sweet. I will check that. In fact, I'll add it into the list for that reason. PY. I'll just put PayPal. There we are. PayPal Holdings. We'll bring that in. Weakness after 270. A lot of open space. 260 or even further down. I think the market doesn't like the fact that Square's caught back up with them. You could be looking, considering that could be even penalty, all the way back down to 231. Very bearish. We'll do Beyond, which is coming. Oh, we've got Sand Dollar. We can't miss you, Sand Dollar. Where are we? Sand Dollar. We've got PTON. Peloton. Oh, Sand Dollar. It's close, man. This would have been sweet if we closed above. Did not do so. Oh, man. I do not want that under 108. 108, you're looking at a 100 after that. And then after that, you know it falls through like a brick. So, yeah, 100, 100, 100 if it gets underneath that zone. In fact, you could even say it's like a little top. Take that range. Where's that going to go to? Is that proof well? No, not really. So ignore that. If it doesn't proof, I won't use it. Oh, Tom out of the chart. There we go. And then we've got Beyond coming in here. I said I'll do that one. BYND. No dice. No dice on this. For the rapid fires in the future, I'll do them this way so you guys can see the screen a little bit better. That would be better. Overall, at support, needs to bounce. We'll use risk, caution right there. We did Neo already. And then we've got AMD. We'll do one more. AMD. AMD. Oh, nice. That's a good closure for AMD. Long leg doji. Decision made to the bull side. 110.73. Actually looks pretty good. Right on the level too. So if the market holds, AMD looks all right. Yep, we did Roblox. We did AMD. Did NVAX. I just want to do skills just to see how bad it is. Oh, this company. It's a dog. It sucks. Like, oh my God. What is going on with this stock? Why do people buy this stock? What is good about skills, guys? What is this? Is this a Kathy Wood stock or something? This stock continuously fails us. Look at it. It's hideous. What's it even worth? 4.57 billion. I don't want people to lose money on this thing. What is going on here? Eventually it will turn, sure. Is it burning cash out of control? I don't know. I would be looking very closely at the fundamentals on this stock. I don't know what is going on here, but it pumpy and dumpies all the way through. And I'm assuming it's probably some kind of Kathy Wood stock. We got Tarun Bablani, Canadian $6.99. Hi, Tom. Still holding on to CDIM. Okay, CDIM. Get this up here for a second. Broke 1.7 resistance recently. Possible breakout, perhaps. Yeah, this is good. That's a great breakout, man. Yeah, we're looking towards the $2 on this thing. We've done this before. Actually, in fact, even 220. I like the repair. I like the movement here. The movement above. The weekly is going to look pretty good, I reckon. Yeah, weekly looks really good. Yeah, absolutely. 220 is certainly in play, and $2, 220. Looks good, man. Good luck. I don't blame you for holding it. I probably would have scaled a small portion here, but yeah, absolutely, man. That's very cool. And then we'll do Netflix to finish up here in terms of the higher ones. Whoop. And tell how often I trade Netflix. Very irregularly. Does look okay from the weekly perspective. Imagine if you closed above 525. Now, if you closed under 505, it would be even worse. It'd go like 480. So I feel like you get above this zone, you move towards 555, nice participation. You get below this zone, below the 505, you move towards 481, and it gets nasty in there. CDIM looks, or CTIM look pretty good. Dave, can I ask you just to get the other donations that came through? Unfortunately, I have missed one or two, and this stupid app doesn't let me catch them. So if you did have one, please message Dave, add him, and he'll send them through to me. Raj Pardal, don't worry, I did that one. And Coin, I'll do it straight away right now. Weekly looked hard. However, I don't just look at the weekly. It looked, I think this 250 zone, 255 was good buying if you like this stock. I have a rule, guys, for anyone that's new and hasn't subbed yet, or personally sub, give us a like. And also remember, if it's a tech company and you're not in pre-IPO, run away and come back in 12 to 18 months' time. Go check out Snap. Go check out Facebook. Go check out, I don't know, Twitter. Anything else that you've seen. Even Snowflake, even Roblox. It doesn't matter. If it's tech, when it comes out, it rallies and then it gets smoked. And then a few months later, it comes good. We've got Ulrich Nielsen coming in with $50. He says, hey, Tom, hope you're having a great day. I am. Thank you very much, sir. When you make long-term investments and they go against you, at what point do you cut them? And this is where you've got to probably bring in your fundamentals. You can only really, if you're making a long-term investment, you're going to be trying the technicals to get you good levels, and you will be cutting them when you see very specific fundamentals. It's hard because you need to understand the company very well. It's going to be things like crippling debt. Has your base case changed? Like, what's changed about the company? It's a very complex question there, Ulrich. I would say it's a mixture of a multitude of lots of lackluster reports. So the reports have to continuously be bad, and you can't see a light at the end of that tunnel, or they lose their CEO and then things go bad, or the company structure changes. If I saw a company that was going bad in a long-term investment, I'd be all over Glassdoor. I'd be all over some of these websites where the workers are actually reviewing it. If they are hating on the business, and there's a lot of classic cases in there, and then you're seeing that reflected in the results, you might want to think about it. Because remember, it's happening right now to Blizzard Activision. And we all saw it coming. But they're a crap place to work, and they ruined my Diablo 2. All right? So we don't like them. But realistically, Ulrich, it's a mixture of looking at the fundamentals, understanding the price action, where the next supports are going to be, and whether you can hold it to that level. And has the story changed? Because if the story of success has not changed, then you can hold through a lot of dips. E.g., people that held Tesla when it was getting battered. You know, Tesla's had some brutal batterings, and there's some people that just continuously hold. So we've moved here into the 4 minutes away from the market. We'll get down and dirty with it. We've also got Sandola coming in with a coffee donation. Thank you very much, Sandola. Appreciate the support as per usual. Very, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mark Newton says, Shanghai comp bullish on daily/weekly. China tech does not represent the index. If you looked at the Shanghai comp, there's all these weird companies in there, like housing companies and banks and other things. Always, before you trade an index or you want to look at it as a comparison, understand what's in it. It's like the IWM, the Russell 2000. It's got predominantly a lot of small banks in it that are reflective of course, movements in the US 10-year. So here we go. We've got our markets up. We've got a little bit of rally here early in the session. You'll see the weakness, the rally coming through at this point. For anyone that's joining us for the first point, and today we're looking at daily 200 being, or daily 20 exponential being the really key zone here. Even if it sells off aggressively, that'll be the key zone of the week. Closing underneath that, be very bearish. And then closing above 15,188 would be quite bullish. Let's go down to the fake market futures 1 hour, try to get an understanding of what the market could do here early. So if I was looking at this market and thinking about trading based on fake market futures, I would think these levels are key. So we think resistance. I'd be looking at lightning bolt downside here for the bear side. If it bulled above that, then we probably continue to rally. So that would be the zone I'd be looking at, 15.1 and then 15.70 from the bear side. You close underneath this, you've got a lot of weakness. We don't often get into these small time frames, but those are the two levels that I like from a technical basis. We've got 2 minutes here until the market opens. Which stocks do you guys like to have a look at? Let me know right now. Right now. Mama says, I love reading Glassdoor. Yeah, I kind of like it too. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Nothing wrong about reading that stuff. So what do you guys want to look at here? You want the 10? We'll look at Tesla because you guys love the Tesla. 5-minute Tesla up, 705. Needs to hold a 697 today, 695 to continue its bullish movements. And it's down mostly probably because of the Neo news. And in terms of the Weeble, what do we got moving the most in the morning? Usually that's the most fun to watch. Whoa, MTD's up a lot. T-Mobile, Moderna. All right. See what you guys want. Shop. All right. Let's have a look at shop. Back down. All right. Here we go. We're opening, guys. Play the bell. Welcome to Monday's Open. Let's see how the market goes from fake market futures to real market action. We've got Coin coming in here with the 1.31%. You'll notice Square down 0.7%, Apple down barely. Just remember, Apple in a massive trade range, daily 20. Look at how it's skidded off that buy. Close underneath, bearish signal. We expect here some selling to occur somewhere around this level as the Nasdaq comes close to the 15,100. And that's certainly the trap the fake market futures would have. And what I would usually do is I'd have a look at the real market and see whether those levels are correct and accurate. So you'll notice there is actually a really good support, which will become resistance around 15,105. So if you have a rally into this area, will there be nasty algorithms around that zone? You would expect so. You would expect so. Everhart Production said Bell didn't play. Really? Huh. Oh, well, I'll add the bell into the software. That's fine. Next time you'll get the bell. 704 here for Tesla and Apple shows a 0.15. Keep scrolling through. We've got ARK down 1.21%, Beam down 4%, Edit down 2.76%. Brutal on those CRISPR style stocks at the moment. QCOM. I'll tell you about QCOM. 0.04% up. Oh, now it's down, but that's a beautiful result right now. Nvidia, as I said, it's holding ahead of that earnings. That could be crazy. And remember, at the end of today, guys, you do have Roblox. So if you're in Roblox, that'll be a doozy, I feel like. Other earnings coming up this week. We've got Nvidia after the close Wednesday. We've got John Deere. It's been on a bit of a rally coming into the announcement. Lazy Boy. Didn't even know they still existed. We've got SE, which is a very cool company, possibly overpriced completely. That'll be you would think wild earnings. And we've got Walmart as well. Cisco, something that often runs in. In fact, I wouldn't mind having a look at Cisco on the charts. Let's have a look at Cisco. I haven't looked at Cisco in a while. Let's go to the weekly. Very beautiful closure above. Wow, that's so nice. So Cisco coming back up to its 19 highs, rallying into its announcement. Now, if you go back over earnings, Cisco tends to do this. It tends to dump off its earnings. Look at this. Pumpy, then dumpy. Dumpy, and then it came back. Earnings. This is the first good earnings. Bad earnings. Bad earnings. Bad earnings. Bad earning. You get the idea. It's a bad time for Cisco 8 out of 10 times. So if it runs too much, unless you really think that they're collecting the ship, often Cisco goes a little bit bad during the earnings. I think that's probably more of an option style thing if you want to look at it. US 100 now at 51.05, so it's right on that level. Let's watch it. Let's watch it on the NDX. 5-minute chart, and we'll rally that up. There we are. Okay, that's where Siddharth is. Siddharth has collected his 6 points, guys. He's sold it right at the zone like a scalping god that he is, potentially. I'm not sure if you are, Siddharth. And yeah, there you go. The scalp is complete. It's over. See how it's that easy, guys. Let's go back over to the Webull movement changer here. Netflix 1.14. Cool. Check that out. See where it's in that range. If it closes above, could be nice there on Netflix. Actually, it's been sitting for a while. Shopify 0.65%. Negative side, Moderna, suddenly not the flavor of the month. Hater in the comments. Take that. That guy hated on me so much. But that's all right, because I said to him, I said, I'm not buying Moderna above 400, man. I'm not salty. I'm just not buying it. And look, now it's 368, dude. Down 5.67%. And the rest of the stocks are mostly Chinese stocks. And then, of course, the Tesla off the NEO news. Let's check out NEO. Let's see how brutal it is. It is 5.53% down. Ooh. Yeah. That doesn't look good. It could be just FUD, and it may not continue on down. But remember, if it closes underneath here, next stop, $35. Next stop, $35. Sid's out. Sid's done for the day. Just wrapped up, he says. You got your 10 points, Sid? You happy? From a scalp perspective, that is all you were taking there. So there's two different ways to look at that. If you hit it for the first time and it's a great level like that, usually you will find suppressed, like a little scalp sell. Now, if you're looking for a more sustained sell-off, generally speaking, and we'll go back to that in a second, Fastly, nothing much here. You need it to rally through this declining kind of trend. So if we go back over there to the NDX for a second, we go down to a 5-minute chart. So what a lot of people, sometimes fail to do here is the idea would be that you have your resistances or your supports becoming resistance. Now, if you initially hit it like we did, there'll be that initial little quick sell off. That's what someone will scalp. They'll go in, they'll look for 5 points, they'll be out. That's it. That's the scalp. The proper, let's call it day trade, the day trader would need that type of actions. They would need the turnaround. They would need, let's say, the rejection style candle with the follow through. So, because they're looking for a lot more. You're not looking for 5 points. A scalp is looking for 5, 10, 15 points, whatever, and you'll find the key level. So let's say this closes, we'll wait for it 3 more minutes, and this thing closes down and it goes bearish and it finds a pin, full on pin rejection or shooting star, as let's call it, the correct terms. Let's say it closed like that, yeah? And then you get that follow through action. That's where a day trader will start to implement, and they'll obviously stop loss above because it's at a key level, at a key zone, and they're finding a good reason to trigger a bigger move. Just because it hits a level doesn't mean it's going to sell off for 100 points or something like that. You know what I mean? It's a big difference. It's a key level for sure. Dan Hageman says, Tom, what do you think about the Nikkei 225? All right, let's have a look at the Nikkei. Ugh. That's disgusting, isn't it? When was the last time that happened? Wow. That looks really weak. Like you're basically at key support underneath 27. 24 is the logical conclusion for the Bears. Push it back into the previous highs of 18, 19. It's a pretty aggressive market. The Nikkei can do whatever it feels like. Or the Nikkei, I guess, as I call it. Probably not correct name. Let's have a look if I can get big data on it. Yeah, so that 24 makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got like a lot of rejections, buying, very bearish monthly there. Close underneath. I mean, next stop 26. And then after that, 24 very open. That's strange. That is really strange, guys. Look at how weak it is and horrible. It's like watching death by 1,000 cuts in TA form. Very slow, very nasty. You know when it's going to repair too, because it'll get through. You'll find a daily. You'll draw up whatever it is. You'll get that trend line in properly. And then if you start to see repair, say it comes off this level, bounces, and then moves through, that'd be pretty sweet in terms of repair. Anyway. All right. So it looks like it's not just in the US 100 today. It's mostly in the Dow in terms of weakness. Let's have a look at the Dow, down 0.56%. We'll move back over to the US 100 in a second. US 500 also finding weakness there. So it's not in there. Not so much in the stocks that we tend to like as much. It's happening to the stocks that we tend not to buy. So yeah, probably the more boomer style. Let's have a look at how this 5 minutes closing up. Did we get a nasty 5 minute? We did not. Let's go to NDX. Okay, so we busted through. So that means rally. Now there'll be little buyers trying to fill that gap, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, realistically, that's what you're looking for. Remember, you don't just sell a level unless it hits for the first time and you're looking for a very quick scalp. You got to understand the difference. There's this quick scalp technique, which is obviously a very high frequency style trade. And then there's the day trade technique, which needs the confirmation. If you don't have confirmation, even that you could find the best zone in the world. You could be like, Tom, there's 7 resistances, 7 supports. It's so great. Yeah, but you need that level still to find the actual resistance or support and show you that the momentum is turning. So until you can see the momentum turning, you can't do much about it. You're trading a bloody 5 minute chart. It's not enough. You need to see the momentum turning on a time frame. At least that type of action, guys. And then you can be more confident that it actually is going to go in your direction. You have a higher statistical chance, etc., etc. Apple just hit your buy alert, so it got above 150. There it is. 150 closure. Be a big thing if it closed above. Tons of calls on this. As I said, the ratio of put to calls is 4 to 1. 4 to 1, 5 to 1, something like that. Crypto took a bit of a slam then off the high. All the crypto turning here a little bit. I'm not really buying any more crypto at this stage. But I'll tell you what, 42.5. Maybe. From a technical perspective, could be a good resistance becomes support area. ARQ says, do you use VWAP? Yes, you would if you're scalping. You would use VWAP. We'll do VWAP session at some point. Scalping, VWAP. Ouch, Roblox. What happened? Is it nasty? Oh, not that nasty. Roblox is purely on earnings. Earnings is everything. So people are positioning in. It's a cool technical, but it needs earnings. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for all the likes. Appreciate everyone that is always tuning in on these sessions. And if you spread the word, that always helps us out. Thank you for the super chats as well. Appreciate that. And we'll see you tomorrow for another stream. Today's daily close, will we get a bearish close? Will we get bullish? It's still too early in the session to tell what Wall Street is doing. Remember, The actual close is the key. We're just here for the fun. We're not here for the really good stuff. That's when the close happens, when it's locked in time, and all this stuff that's happening throughout the day causing you psychological nightmares actually means nothing because the close is the key. So, from everyone here at FX Evolution, thank you very much. If you want to, you can check out our courses over on fxevolution.com. You can get the free cheat sheet, which should be pinned somewhere potentially. Did I pin it? I did pin it. So you can check that one out. And also, we have, of course, a private group that's just getting better and better and better. I have a whole bunch of robots in there that give you stuff. You can always check it out. Free 7-day trial, fxevolution.com. Dave, if you can chuck the link in there, that'd be good. Thanks, everyone. We'll check you out tomorrow. And remember to watch that daily video. Bye for now.